Hey there, lovely souls. I hope you're doing well. Just felt a need to give you a shout out to say there's a whole load of, I can explain, like confusion and chaos right now. So don't be surprised if you're finding yourself really heavily in your thoughts. And this can feel really chaotic. Like I say, you could be having multiple thoughts coming up, which don't make you feel good. And I can only explain what it feels like right now is a storm. And many, many things are being brought up to our attention to be seen for what it is. However, when you're in the storm, you don't see it. You just purely go around in it, which creates this chaos, anxiety, even more. I mean, I haven't felt that I struggle with anxiety, but I have really felt it these last few weeks, and I have absolute sympathy for those people out there that have that, because this may be even ramping up even more for you right now. So the way to try and help self-regulate this, it's really, really important to put as much self-care into your day as possible. Don't do it when you suddenly feel overwhelmed and think, okay, I need to do something, because sometimes we don't even recognize when we're overwhelmed until our shit really hits the storm. Okay, I put a post out there like self-care practices, daily practices, I have the same function of tent pegs. They basically stop us from losing our shit. Okay, so just imagine your self-care is about grounding you and keeping your tent pegs in. It's holding your space for you. It's holding your station, holding alignment for yourself. And what only again feels to me is to be the eye of the storm, which is where it's calm. And actually, if you can hold an objectivity to things through self-care practices like walking, going in nature. Nature is like going to be fundamental for you, okay, right now, to ground you. But also practices like meditation, which I practice with Pyjama Revolution, which I will do a date very soon. However, I don't feel like I need to set the date right now. It'll be very imminent, but nothing's lasting. It's like when you put something out there, it just gets spun around and it won't land right now. So I'm just kind of waiting for this storm to settle, even my own storm, as it were. So be the eye of the storm, be that calm, have that objectivity. When you can hold objectivity for yourself, you don't attach to those thoughts that are coming through, which make you think of your truth, okay, which take that thought into an emotional reaction, which then creates this whirlpool basically. So come back into your space, do some breathing, visualize a beautiful light coming through you and grounding you to the earth. Okay, keep hydrated, eat well, certainly keep up the purification, keep up your drinking, and that's water, not alcohol, or coffee or tea. It's really try and keep as pure in your body to help you detox, because what I have noticed today in my clinic, it's very elemental. So we're coming up to the autumn equinox, so we are really coming into our earth energy now. This is the season that we're coming in. It's really about earthing and landing, which is, I guess, if we're not in that, we will be off out outer space with our thoughts and mental energy, or very depressed and low with it. Depends on where it's taking you. In fact, you might find you're on a very high and low ground, a roller coaster right now. So I would, and what I have seen is this elemental forces can only picture it, they're doing like a dance, like these crazy leaves that are flowing in the wind, and all the elementals, there's 5 elements. So you've got the water, the earth, the fire, metal, sun or fire, and air. And they change for each season. And as we're coming from summer into autumn, it's about finding it, rebalancing itself. So it's the elements are finding their balance and their space. Okay, so it's not 25% of each one. They don't last, they're not like that all the way through. Some will have more predominance and others will have less, and they fluctuate. So this is probably what we're seeing, is that this tornado and this shift, sorry, I'm moving the camera as I'm doing my tornado impression, but it's these elements are really shifting and shaking like a heavy old snow globe, on top of, when I'm not an astrologist, but there's huge amounts of planets, 7 I think or 6, in retrograde, which is kind of a reversing. So it's kind of getting us to reflect, look back into ourselves. So our inner child, our belief systems, our social conditioning, our ancestral lineage, our soul lineage, we're being really called to look really within ourselves and to find our alignment, which is, I believe, is always through the heart. It's the seat of the soul, the heart. So this is where love is and where fear is a stranger. It's fear that's the illusion, but fear creates our reality, but it's an illusion. Fear isn't really real. It's just something that we've created in our own free will. So going back to the elements, they're readjusting and they're finding their balance, but they merge into one. They come back out again. They come back in again. It's a bit of a dance, and they're trying to find the equilibrium. And we will be finding, ourselves are trying to find that equilibrium. But it's a bit of a dance. So it's not a matter at the moment of putting anything to ground or anything to try and stabilize something and try and get anything right into action right now. It's about sowing seeds of how you wish to feel. So be it of love, joy and peace. I ultimately see that it's those 3 things that we're ultimately striving for. Often we get sidetracked thinking that something is going to give us that, but actually they're the 3 things we want. We want to feel loved, we want to be loved, we want to have fun, we want to have joy, and we want to find that inner peace and inner contentment and fulfillment. And that comes from being our soul, being living out our purpose. And it doesn't feel like work when we're living in our purpose, because it's bringing us joy at the same time. So, and everything is in abundance. So everything is being brought up to our attention right now, which can feel very overwhelming, overloading, and a real mindfuck, okay? So I'm giving so much sympathy out to you all there, because I have been going through this, and even with my understanding of what my self-care and my awareness can still be really challenging, okay? So I'm just going to send out big love to you all. Have some compassion for yourself, okay? If you find yourself going off on one, and just keep bringing some breaths. Go to Pyjama Revolution in Facebook, or on my Infinity Health Hub YouTube. There is a neural nervous system meditation I did a couple of weeks ago, which I knew would be relevant for the next couple of months. So tune in on that, listen to that, and when I'm ready to do an autumn equinox one, I will post that out for people, okay? So big love, have compassion, take breaths, meditate, self-care, self-reflection. Know that if something's coming up that doesn't make you feel good, then know it's an old belief coming up, an old pattern for you to be aware of. So hold objectivity to it, to be able to transmute it, let yourself release it from it and come back to your heart space, okay? So I hope that makes sense. If you need help with this, if you need to feel like you need plugging in and grounding and rebalancing, then this is what I do with my treatments. It's really powerful. It's getting more and more powerful as I really trust into it. So, and like today, it's been very elemental. It's about letting the body find its balance, and this is what the autumn equinox is about. It's looking at what we need to let go, be that grief, be that these old patterns, old emotions, and finding what we need to continue with, what we really want to remain with, to go forwards. So what are we choosing to have our lives? What do we want to choose? To choose love, to choose joy, choose peace. So it's really about having that discernment again of what we need to let go of and what we need to keep hold of, and just come into that space of trust really as we sort of morph slowly into autumn. Calmer, should be calmer, but our lives don't seem to allow that, because it's supposed to be busy, 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 and all the stress about money will be compounding our stress to think we need to be doing, whereas actually what we need to be is actually doing less. But we're so conditioned to be heavily in our masculine that we just burn out. So if you're burnt out, overwired, overtired, overwhelmed, depressed, anxious, do everything that I've just talked about in this meditation. Contact me if you need to. If you're not local to me in East Devon, I can do an online consultation for you to actually talk through and connect into your body to see where it is. It's amazing stuff. We are amazing beings, okay? We're not all just flesh and bone, like we can see here. We're so much more than that. So yeah, I can do that online. I can connect with you and do a meditation that's relevant and unique to you, and it can be recorded so you can keep playing it over and over again, so you can make sure that you're feeling safe and connected into your body. And like I say, I'll post something very soon for the autumn equinox, but it feels like every time I think about it, it just flows away. So I'm just going to let things land. And when the time is ready, I will do it. So I'm trusting one's instinct and going with that. So lots of love, people. Know that you're not alone. Know that it's okay not to be okay, and you're enough, okay? Lots of love, and we'll get through this. We will. Just got to do it together, okay? And yeah, so lots of love. Take care. Bye-bye.